The most attractive women I know spend the least time trying to be attractive. That's not a coincidence. That's a principle. And once you understand it, you'll never chase beauty the same way again. But first, let's talk about why this matters. And I don't mean surface level beauty tips. I'm not here to talk about skincare routines or the perfect shade of lipstick. This goes so much deeper than that. Here's what I've come to understand about women, especially women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. By this point in your life, you've probably spent years trying to be beautiful, trying to be enough, trying to look a certain way so that you'd be loved, accepted, chosen, respected. Maybe it started when you were young. Maybe someone made you feel like your worth was tied to how pretty you looked. Maybe you learned early on that attention came when you performed, when you dressed up, when you tried harder. And so you tried for decades. You tried in your 20s. You tried in your marriage. You tried at work. You tried for your children, your family, your community. And maybe somewhere along the way you got tired. Tired of the effort, tired of the pressure, tired of feeling like no matter what you did, it was never quite enough. Here's what I want you to know. The most beautiful women I've ever encountered in my life are not the ones who try the hardest. They're not the ones chasing perfection. The most beautiful women I know are the ones who've stopped trying so hard and started being. Just being. They've discovered something powerful. They've discovered that true beauty isn't about what you add. It's about what you allow to shine through. And that changes everything, because when you stop performing beauty and start embodying it, something magical happens. You stop exhausting yourself. You stop seeking approval. And people are drawn to you anyway, not because of what you look like, but because of how you make them feel. That's what this video is really about. It's about reclaiming your natural beauty, the beauty that was always there. The beauty that doesn't require filters or trends or anyone's permission. It's about understanding that your feminine energy, your grace, your presence, your aura, these are the things that truly captivate people. And they don't require effort. They require intention. They require habits. Simple, daily habits that connect you back to your truest self. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 feminine habits that make you beautiful without trying. These are not quick fixes. They're not tricks. They're ways of being, ways of moving through the world, ways of treating yourself and others that create a natural radiance that no makeup, no outfit, no surgery can replicate. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just what these habits are, but why they work. You'll see real examples of women living these habits. And you'll have clear, practical steps you can take starting today to embody this kind of effortless beauty. This is for you if you're tired of trying so hard, if you want to feel beautiful from the inside out, if you're ready to step into your soft power and let your natural light lead the way. Let's begin. The first habit is simple, and yet almost no one does it. It's the habit of slowing down. And I mean truly slowing down, not just moving slower, but thinking slower, speaking slower, breathing slower. Let me tell you why this matters so much. We live in a world that worships speed. Everything is fast. Fast food, fast fashion, fast communication. We're constantly rushing from one thing to the next, one task to another, one notification to the next ping on our phones. And in the middle of all this rushing, something gets lost. You get lost. When you rush, your nervous system is on high alert. Your body is tense. Your mind is scattered. Your energy becomes chaotic, frantic, anxious. And people feel that. When you're rushing, people around you feel the stress coming off of you. They might not be able to name it, but they sense it. And it doesn't feel good to be near. But when you slow down, everything changes. A woman who moves slowly, who speaks with patience, who doesn't rush her words or her movements, she carries a different kind of energy. She feels grounded. She feels secure. She feels like someone who has time. Someone who values herself enough not to hurry through her own life. And that is incredibly attractive. Think about it this way. When you rush, you're sending a message to the world and to yourself that says, I'm not important enough to take my time. I have to hurry because I'm not valuable enough to make anyone wait. But when you slow down, you're sending a different message, I matter. My time matters. My presence matters. And I'm not going to rush through my own existence just to meet someone else's timeline. That's power. That's quiet, feminine power. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She's 43. She has 2 children, a demanding job, and a household to manage. Her days are packed from morning to night. For years, Sarah moved through life like she was on fire. She talked fast. She walked fast. She ate fast. She barely had time to breathe, let alone think. And she was exhausted, constantly exhausted. But here's what else happened. People stopped really seeing her. She became a blur, a woman in motion, someone always on the way somewhere else, and she felt invisible. Then something shifted. Sarah reads something that stuck with her. A simple line. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. And she realized she was rushing through everything, including herself. So she made a decision, a small one, but powerful. She decided that every morning, before her day officially began, she would take 10 minutes to sit quietly. Just 10 minutes. No phone, no tasks. Just her, sitting with a cup of tea, watching the light come through the window. At first it felt strange, even uncomfortable. Her mind kept screaming at her to get up, to do something, to be productive. But she stayed, and over time something beautiful happened. Those 10 minutes of stillness started to seep into the rest of her day. She found herself speaking a little slower, walking a little more deliberately, pausing before reacting. And people noticed. Her husband said she seemed different, more present. Her children started opening up to her more. Her coworkers found her calming to be around. She didn't change her wardrobe. She didn't get a new hairstyle. She didn't do anything to her appearance. But she became more beautiful because she slowed down enough to actually inhabit her own life. So here's what I want you to do. First, I want you to notice your pace. Today, right now, how fast do you move? How fast do you talk? How fast do you eat? Just notice, without judgment. Just observe. Second, I want you to choose one moment each day to intentionally slow down. Maybe it's your morning coffee. Maybe it's the way you walk to your car. Maybe it's how you respond to a text message, taking a breath before you type. Start with one moment. Let that moment become a habit, and let that habit slowly transform your entire energy. Third, practice the power of the pause. Before you speak, pause. Before you react, pause. Before you rush to the next thing, pause. In those pauses, you'll find yourself. You'll find your grace. You'll find your beauty. Because beauty isn't rushed. Beauty doesn't hurry. Beauty takes its time. And so should you. The second habit is something so rare in our world that when someone offers it to you, it feels like a gift. It's the habit of true presence. Being fully here. Fully attentive. Fully engaged with the person in front of you. Most people are never truly present. They're physically in the room, but their mind is somewhere else. They're thinking about what they're going to say next. They're checking their phone. They're worried about the past or anxious about the future. And when you're talking to someone like that, you feel it. You feel unseen, unimportant. But when someone gives you their full attention, when they look at you like you're the only person in the world, when they listen, truly listen, without interrupting or judging or rushing you, it's magnetic. It's one of the most beautiful things a human being can offer another. And here's the thing. It doesn't require beauty products. It doesn't require money. It doesn't require being young or thin or wearing the right clothes. It just requires you deciding to be here. Now, with this person, fully. Let me tell you why this matters so much for your beauty, your aura, your energy. When you're present with others, you stop thinking about yourself. You stop worrying about how you look or what people think of you. You stop performing. And that's when your natural beauty comes through. Because true beauty isn't self-conscious. True beauty is self-forgetful. When you're so focused on connecting with someone else, on making them feel seen and valued, you relax. Your face softens. Your eyes brighten. Your energy becomes warm and inviting. And people remember you, not for how you looked, but for how you made them feel. Think about the most beautiful women you've known in your life. I'd bet many of them had this quality. They made you feel special. They made you feel heard. They made you feel like you matter. That's presence. And it's a habit you can cultivate. Let me give you an example. I know a woman named Grace. She's 51. She's a grandmother now. And she's not what society would call conventionally beautiful. But everyone who meets Grace remembers her. Because Grace has this incredible gift. When she's with you completely. She puts down her phone. She turns her body toward you. She looks you in the eyes, not in an intense way, but in a way that says, I see you. I'm here. She asks questions. Real questions. Not just small talk, but questions that show she's genuinely curious about you. And when you answer, she listens. She doesn't interrupt. She doesn't check her watch. She just listens. When you're with Grace, you feel like you're the most important person in the room. And that feeling is addictive. People want to be around her. They're drawn to her. Not because of her appearance, because of her presence. Grace once told me something I'll never forget. She said, the greatest gift you can give someone is your attention. In a world where everyone is distracted, being fully present is an act of love. She's right. And here's the beautiful thing. When you give this gift to others, you receive it too. You become more grounded, more connected, more alive. Because presence isn't just for the other person. It's for you too. So here's what I want you to practice. First, when someone is speaking to you, put away distractions. Put down your phone. Close your laptop. Turn your body toward them. Signal with your whole being that they have your attention. Second, practice listening without planning your response. Most of us listen just enough to figure out what we're going to say next. Instead, try listening to understand. Listen with curiosity. Let their words actually land before you respond. Third, make eye contact. Not aggressively, but warmly. Look at people when you speak to them. Let them see your attention in your eyes. Fourth, ask follow-up questions. Show people you're actually listening. You mentioned you were stressed about your daughter. How is she doing now? That simple act of remembering and asking shows presence that most people never receive. When you practice true presence, something shifts in you. You stop being so focused on yourself, on your insecurities, on your appearance. And you start focusing on connection. And in that connection, you become radiant. Not because you're trying to be beautiful, because you're being present. And presence is beautiful, naturally, effortlessly. The third habit is about your voice. Not just the sound of it, but the way you use it. It's the habit of speaking with soft power. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean speaking in a way that is both gentle and strong, calm and certain, kind and clear. Too many women have been taught that to be heard, you have to be loud. You have to be aggressive. You have to fight for your space in the conversation. But here's what I've learned. The women who are truly powerful, the women who command respect, are often the quietest ones in the room. Not quiet because they're afraid. Quiet because they're secure. They don't need to shout. They don't need to over-explain. They don't need to fill every silence with nervous chatter. They speak when they have something to say. And when they speak, people listen. That's soft power. Let me tell you why this is so connected to beauty. When you speak with soft power, You carry an energy of calm confidence. You don't seem desperate. You don't seem anxious. You don't seem like you're trying to prove yourself. And that is incredibly attractive. Think about how jarring it is to be around someone who's always shouting, always interrupting, always trying to dominate the conversation. It's exhausting. It's off-putting. Now think about being around someone who speaks softly, who pauses before responding, who chooses her words carefully. There's a grace to that, a dignity, and it makes you want to lean in, to listen more closely, to value what they say. This doesn't mean being a doormat. This doesn't mean never speaking up or never expressing your needs. Quite the opposite. Soft power means you can say difficult things in a gentle way. You can set boundaries without raising your voice. You can disagree without being disagreeable. It means your strength doesn't depend on volume. It depends on conviction. Let me share a story. There's a woman named Maria. She's 47. For most of her life, Maria was a people pleaser. She avoided conflict at all costs. She said yes when she meant no. She swallowed her feelings to keep the peace. But that started to make her bitter, resentful. She felt like she was disappearing. So she swung to the other extreme. She started speaking up, but harshly. She became defensive-aggressive, always ready for a fight. And that didn't work either. People pulled away from her. Relationships became tense. Maria was stuck. She felt like she had only two options: be a doormat or be a bulldozer. But then she learned about soft power. She learned that she could speak her truth without screaming it. She could set boundaries without slamming doors. She could disagree without attacking. She started practicing. When her sister made a comment that hurt her, instead of exploding or silently stewing, Maria said calmly, "When you say that, it hurts me. I know you might not mean it that way, but I wanted you to know how it lands." When her husband made a decision without consulting her, instead of yelling or shutting down, she said, "I felt left out of that decision." I'd like us to talk about things like that together in the future. Simple words, calm delivery, clear message. And something amazing happened. People started listening to her more. Not less, more. Because when you speak with soft power, people don't feel attacked. They feel invited into a conversation. And they're more likely to actually hear you. Maria also noticed something else. She felt more beautiful.